I'll say that I get kind of asked about a lot with clients is, I mean, even going back to the physical presence, like, you've hired one remote employee in a new state, it's one employee, and I go to the client and say, well, you have to file, state income tax, and you probably should be looking at some sort of sales tax there as well. You have physical presence in the state. The number one question I feel like I get back is, how are they going to know? How is the state going to know, about that one employee sitting there? And I mean, I'm sure you have your answer, right? But you're filing a payroll tax, filing in that state, or you're probably registered for unemployment, or you've kind of registered with the state on some aspect to get that employee up and running there. But how do again, how do you, obviously you still come back to that cost benefit, but how do you look at that, or what happens if a state does find you? What are the next steps there?
Having an employee in a state is kind of one aspect of that risk portfolio in terms of what's the likelihood that a state is going to identify an out-of-state business. If you have an employee in the state and are doing payroll taxes correctly, if you're using an ADP, they're going to be on top of it. They're going to be paying those taxes for you. There is the chance that the state's Department of Revenue, the Secretary of State, the Employment Security Department, or kind of the respective departments of those nature per state may talk to each other. Where I've seen this come up is specific to California. I'm sure other states, kind of have this capability and are on top of it, but California is very aggressive with it. I had a client who had one of their employees moved to California, didn't tell management, updated their employee profile so ADP knew. So ADP was paying California withholding $3,000 of payroll. California came after them, no sales in the state, all for an $800 minimum tax filing fee. So, I think that highlights two things. Your case point on having an employee in the state, and two, sometimes there's exposures that are so small. Do we really care about them? And that's probably the $800 bucket.